Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. One thing I've noticed with WordPress blocks and WordPress block tutorials is that they're really good with helping you get started with those beginner blocks. Now, those simple blocks that maybe don't have a whole lot of options or don't do a whole lot of fancy things, but they're a good way for you to help understand how to get started with block development. But there's not a whole lot of tutorials that cover how to do sort of those intermediate and advanced blocks. And it can be a bit of a challenge to figure out how to sort of level up your block development to get to those levels, especially if you're just getting started with learning React and how it all works. So in today's video, I'm hopefully going to help fill that gap a little bit by discussing how I created what was first called the featured content block plugin that's still available on the WordPress plugin directory, and is now sort of wrapped into the Crosswinds Blocks plugin as this single content block. For this tutorial, I'll be looking at the featured content block plugin just because that's simpler. We don't have the whole lot of mess of other code for other blocks and really the whole plugin. But really, this is a simple block that allows you to select a specific post, page, other post type, and display it on any page, and you can customize it just like you would any post that's inside the query loop and post template blocks. But before we get started, if you want to see more videos about WordPress block development, WordPress development in general, web development, web design, anything like that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and to ring the bell for notifications. Now let's get started. Okay, so here we are with the featured content block. I went ahead and was able to create the plugin quickly by using WordPress Create Block, which is a great tool. I'll also leave a link to the WordPress developer resources page on this, but basically was able to create a WordPress block just using the terminal. And I was able to use a variant that allowed me to also use the PHP template because this is going to be a dynamic block. But really, you could come in here and learn a whole lot more about how to quickly create blocks and blocks plugins right from the terminal, which is great. And something I really wish we had back when I was learning block development, back when blocks were becoming a thing in 2017, 2018, 2019. So this is a great tool. I highly encourage you to use it. Anyway, coming back to our plugin. So you run that, and it sets you up with the source, the package.json file, and then obviously your main plugin file right here. And we'll sort of call back to this because this does a few other things in addition to using this right here to get us started or get our block loaded and running in the block editor. It does a few other things that we'll talk about here in a second, like getting the list of post types that are available on a site, and doing something with that, as we'll see, as well as adding in patterns, which again we'll get into that very briefly. That's not really the point of this one, but it's just there, and it's something that can be helpful for a user with this plugin. So really, the meat and potatoes of this come in the source directory. We'll just go through here. You got the block.json file. This does a whole lot. I am kind of assuming that you've worked with blocks a little bit at least, or at least you have an idea about them. We added some supports here. We don't really have support for things like padding and margin and those sorts of things. Because really, this uses inner blocks as well. And the idea is that you would use you would use this either inside a group block, or you would add a group block inside of this, and that would give you your margins, paddings, background colors, all of those sorts of things. So we're not doing that here, but we do have some attributes, and we need the post ID, we need the post type. This query ID is something that comes from the query loop block, the post template block, which is what I based this kind of on. I don't think there's really anything that, it's not super important. You can just kind of leave this as is. And it's a few other things, namespace, tag name. But really, it's these first three that are really important, and we also need to make sure that we provide context for these things, because this is what the post title block, the post content block, the post excerpt block, the featured image block. Those are going to read in the post ID, the post type, the query ID that we feed it. So if you want those to work, you need to make sure that we have the post ID as an attribute and that we provide its context. So that's really the most important part here in the block.json file. Quickly over the block index, really, unless you're adding in your own icon that isn't one of the dash icons, you really won't be in here very much. So that's that. This is also a post. We'll get into this maybe a little bit, but since this is a dynamic block where we use PHP to sort of build out what it looks like on the front end, we don't really need to use the save.js file, except that since we have inner blocks, we just need to make sure that we save the inner blocks. Otherwise, it won't work. And I don't want to go into many details about how long it took me to realize that I needed this, because I got everything else to work, but I couldn't get the inner blocks to save for some reason. So hopefully I've saved you some time if you didn't know that before. All right, so the biggest part comes in here with the edit.js file, and here we're loading our dependencies, different things we need. We're gonna need our inspector controls, inner blocks. We're using the combo box control, where someone can select the post or whatever post item, could be page, whatever, to display here. So we come down here and we're getting our attributes, and then we run into this function. It's get post. And this is where we are getting the post or pages or whatever post type, so that we can put them into a list so that a user can select them. And for that, we use wp.data.selectCore.getEntityRecords. And this is something that people are starting to realize is a thing. There was no real fanfare like you get with other features with WordPress, unfortunately. This is something I kind of stumbled upon. I know other people have sort of stumbled upon, and you see them pop up on Twitter like, hey, there's this cool thing. Nobody's really talking about it. So hey, maybe you've learned about this from this video. And I'll leave links to any documentation down in the description below if you want to dive in to learn more about this. But essentially this is using the REST API to get the list of posts or pages or whatever post type. We're getting all of them so that we can list them all. It is because it's asynchronous. Initially, post will be null and you can't do anything with it. So we just kind of throw this in here where if it's null, then we just return an empty array basically. And that sort of saves us from reaching an error here. So then if we do have post, then we loop through them and we add the post ID as the value and the post title that's rendered as the label, add them to the options array, and then we return those options. And then we just sort of add that get post as sort of a use state so that we have our options. And then we come down here to our inspector controls, and the inspector controls are sort of what's on the right side of the block editor. You'll see here in a moment what I'm talking about. And for that, we're just using, again, this combo box control that allows us to select the post. We have this icon change where we are, taking the ID of the post that's selected and setting that as the post ID. We use get post here to get our options. And then something that's really cool with the combo box controls, you have the on filter value change attribute to it. And this is where if someone starts typing, it will go and it'll search using the characters that have been typed in to search for, the posts that have that title. So that's really what's all in that control, and that's really what was the hardest part for me, was just getting that, especially the get post function just turned out to be a bit of a challenge, but a fun challenge. And like when when it all works, it's just like, yes, did it. So that's where I spent most of the time. Down here, if there is no post ID, if the post ID is 0, which is its default value, then we throw in here like, hey, you should select a post from the inspector controls, and then when they do, we just we use our block props, and we use inner blocks, and it will when you select the post ID and the post type, it will send it'll provide the context for any of the blocks that you add inside the inner blocks. As you'll see when I demo it, the full version. So now the other part is what does it look like on the front end? Because when you're working with blocks, you have both the the edit, what it looks like in the editor, and then the save, or what it looks like on the front end. And as I mentioned, it's a dynamic block, so we don't really use much in the save.js except to make sure that we save our inner blocks. So we come in here, we use template.php, and what this does is basically renders it via PHP because it's dynamic, and it can change. So first off, we need to build our query argument. Hopefully if you're watching this tutorial, you know what the WP query is and the loop is and all that, and you've worked it with before. But essentially we're making sure we get one post per page, we're ignoring the sticky post, and then we're including sort of the post ID, the selected post. And then we build that query, and then if the query if that post exists, then we sort of, we add in our classes for it. Then we run the loop with the while, the post. And then the biggest thing is we need to sort of render each of the inner blocks. And this can be a bit of a challenge. This is also basically all taken right from the query loop or post template blocks. But essentially we get the block instance. We sort of set the block name, and then we, for it all, we render out all the inner blocks here. Probably not the best to tell you exactly what this all does, but it works, which is great. And you just need to make sure that you have the post type, and you get the ID, which we're setting while we run the query. So that's the gist of it. There was something else that I wanted to do with it, and also to make sure that was available for that this block was available in different variations for different post types. And so for that, we'll go back to our main plugin file here, and we'll go up here. I used this function right here to basically get the list of post types that are available, that are public, that are show and rest, that are available to use on a given website. And that returns the array. And then we are incurring and queuing the script that I'm about to talk about here, and then we're passing this in to WP localize so that we have this array that we can use inside of the JS file. So we'll go in there. And basically what we're doing is that for each of the post types that we've just put into this file, we are registering a variation of our featured content block, and we are adding a name to it, which is the post type, name of the post type, and then we are changing the post type attribute to be the slug of the post type. So like the default here is post, but with each variation, that post type could be page, project, video, whatever. And so that means, as you might see here in a bit, there are different variations for this block for posts, pages, whatever the post type, basically. And then finally, I just have added a couple patterns. It's very simple, column, like a up and down column pattern, or just a row with a photo right or left. And I mean, those are just being registered right down here. And in this file too. So let's just go and see what it looks like here on the front end. So we'll come in here, go in here, find our featured content block. And I don't really have any other post types in this setup to use. So, by the way, you would see like featured content block page, featured content block video. Those sorts of things would be right here. So we'll come in here, we'll select our post, and then I like to wrap everything in a group block, and then we'll add a featured image, and then our title, and then our excerpt. And then we will hit publish. And there you go. We are now able to display this blog post inside of a page. And we don't have to worry about query loops or any of that mess. It's just very simple, very direct. And that's really why I built this plugin. I think it's great for, if you want to have like a grid of your portfolio projects that you handpick for your home page, or you want to display a specific blog post on your homepage that you want people to read. This is what this block is great for, as well as the Crosswinds Blocks single content block. That really is this block just dropped into the Crosswinds Blocks plugin, basically. If you're asking me, I would say use the Crosswinds Blocks plugin because you get this block and a whole bunch of other blocks. But if you just need this thing, then the featured content block plugin is probably going to be your best bet. But really, that's how this block was built. And it's, as you could probably see, it was an intermediate to advanced block. It didn't take like hours upon hours upon hours, but it did take a lot of like thinking and trial and error and just, tinkering just to get it just right. So hopefully you learned something. So that is how you can create sort of an intermediate to advanced block in WordPress block development. If you have any questions about what I did, what other insights might you want, have you tried creating your own sort of intermediate or advanced block, and how was your experience? Be sure to leave those all down in the comment section below. And I've left links to the repositories for both the featured content block plugin as well as the Crosswinds Blocks plugin. So if you want to dive into the code, really get your hands dirty and see what I did, you can really be able to do that. But again, if you want to see more videos about WordPress block development, WordPress block theme development, web development, and web design, and other topics around that, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the ring the bell for notifications. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.